Look at how big those got. Isn't that crazy? They're just like these chunky little things now. I love it. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today we are in the studio office and we are getting ready to pre-sprout some anemones and ranunculus. And the reason why we pre-sprout our anemones and our ranunculus is because it ensures that we will get blooms 2 to 3 weeks earlier than we would just planting them outside directly. So the process is really easy. You're not going to need any crazy equipment. Let me show you what you're gonna need and then we will get started. So before we get started, let me show you the varieties that we ordered. So we ordered from Eaton Brothers and we also ordered from the Flower Hat. So from Eaton Brothers, we ordered the marshmallow mix. I'm so excited about these. The black, which is going to be like this beautiful dark ranunculus color. We also have the porcelain, the salmon, the pastel mix, and then we have the romantic mix, and I'm so excited about these. I'll pop up some pictures of everything on the screen. And then for the anemones, the only ones I have right now are gonna be the pastel mix. So I'm still waiting on another order that is again gonna be coming later this season. Let me show you what you're going to need for this process. So basically it's going to be just a bucket of water, a nice clean bucket of room temperature water. You're going to need some mesh bags. So these are really great because they have a zipper. And I actually bought these, gosh, I don't remember where I bought these, but I'll link them down below. But they're like you can submerge them and they're just like a mesh bag, almost like an organza bag, which I think I will need as well today. Or you could also use these bags. These are the bags that you get from your bulbs. So if you've kept any of them, this is like a great thing to use, but mesh bags are pretty easy to find. Again, I'll link some down below, or you can use a larger organza bag. And then you're going to need a marker to label your labels because we will label them and then we will just stick the labels directly into the bags before we soak them. Now, when we soak our anemones and our ranunculus, they're going to double in size, which you're going to see. It's one of those little surprises, like it's really exciting to see. But the one thing that some people will do instead of just having like a bucket of water is they'll have like a little bubbler, like something you can get like at a fish store, like those little fish tank bubblers. You don't need that. Like, don't go out of your way to do something like that. That is used to aerate the water. And the reason why we want to aerate the water is we want to prevent any bacteria growth that is going to happen in the time that we're going to be soaking our anemones and our ranunculus. So the way to avoid having to buy a bubbler or anything to like keep the water moving is you can just come in like every hour or every half hour and just stir the water. And what I like to do is actually change out the water. So we're going to be soaking them for 4 hours. I don't recommend doing it any longer than that because that could cause rot. So we'll soak them for 4 hours and every hour I'll come in and just change out the water. It's going to be really easy because they're going to be in these little bags. So I can just take out the bags, change the water, and then put them back in. Another thing you can do is you can just leave your bucket of water under like your kitchen sink and just have it slowly drip, like just like a very like, you know, drip, drip, drip. That way, that alone is going to cause a little bit of movement and that's all you're really gonna need. So before we get started, let me just show you how they look. They kind of look like a star anise, look at that, or like little clumps of dahlias. So when you plant them, you're gonna plant them downward like that. So these little tentacles will go into the soil and then the growth point is right up here. So this is where the stem is going to come from, but they're kind of ugly, but they create some of the most beautiful flowers ever. So anyways, let's label first and let's get them soaking. Okay, so we put that one in. Now let's get the marshmallow mix and then we will put it in these little mesh bags. So I'm just gonna cut these open. And I do a quick spot check to make sure there's like nothing rotten. I haven't had any issues in the past. And again, this is why we're only soaking them for 4 hours. We don't need to go any longer because I don't want any risk of rot. Anemones just kind of look like a little prune. Look at that. Like, I feel like if I saw this in the garden, I would just think it was like a little rock or a little deer poop or something. But see, that's what they look like. And then when we plant these, the pointy side will be planted down. and then the growth point is right there. So that little swelling, that's where it's going to sprout from. So yeah, that's it. Now let's put them in the water. So again, just a clean bucket of water, and we're going to change the water every hour. And the great thing about using a bag is, again, it's so easy to just lift up, shake it off, and fill it back up with clean water. And then we just set it and forget it. Okay, so they've been soaking for 4 hours. I just drained them actually, and they look really, really good. So I changed out the water every hour, so to make sure that there was any like bacteria growth going on, and they look really good. So I actually could not find my organza bag because all of our stuff is packed up because of construction. So we went ahead and just used the bags that they came in. So again, these are from the Flower Hat. So this is great. This is great packaging right here because we were able to just soak them directly in this package. And I just kind of slid the label tag in these guys. So anyway, so what we're going to be doing next is we have our trays. Again, you want to just use trays that don't have any drainage holes. And then we are going to use some potting mix, and we're going to fill these up and get them all situated. So we have these big plant tarps here, which they're so useful whenever you're up potting anything or transplanting things. And we have them in a few different sizes. I'll actually link them down below. And now we're just going to fill the tray up just a couple of inches with some soil. You want to make sure that your soil is nice and moist, but not wet. So I didn't pre-soak this one just because it's already moist as it is. I just bought this one. And again, we're using potting mix for this step. Okay, so first we have the romantic mix. So I'm just going to put that at the end of my tray, just like this, right here. Perfect. Look at how big those got. Isn't that crazy? They're just like these chunky little things now. I love it. And again, we're just gonna put them in the soil with the little tentacles going down. So I will just put them in like so. There's really no specific spacing on these. And we are going to cover them up with soil once we're done. Okay, so next we have the pastel mix and the porcelain mix. So these I'm gonna put in the same tray, but I wanna make sure that I am not going to get them confused. So what I'm gonna do is just take regular twine like this, and I'm going to go under my tray and just tie it in the middle like this. Just like that. And I know half of it is the pastel and the other half is the romantic mix. And the anemones also got a lot larger. So we'll just put them down like this, and that's the growth point right there. All right, so we got them all potted up and they look really great. Now I went ahead and again just covered them all up with about 1 inch of soil. We got the labels in, so they're good to go. Let's talk about next steps. Next, we're going to place these in an area that stays between 40 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So we actually have a little nook between our garage door and our wall. So they'll be just tucked away in there for those 10 to 14 days. You wanna make sure though that you're checking on them every couple of days to make sure that there's no rot or anything funky going on. You also don't want the soil to be dry. If it is, just mist it with a water bottle and that'll be more than enough. After those 10 to 14 days, they should have these little roots coming out, and then we are going to plant them directly outside. We're gonna do a video on that, but we live here in Oregon in zone 8B. So it is like the perfect time to get these guys outside. If you're in zone 6 or below, you may want to wait a little bit longer, or you might have to provide some sort of protection for them. So like some low tunnels, just because you guys might still be getting some snow and just getting a lot of freezing temperatures. So even though these are cool loving flowers, they do need a little bit of protection when it gets that cold. So anyways, that's it. It's such an easy process. And again, we're going to be enjoying these beautiful flowers before you know it. And it's great that we get to do this process because we don't have to wait those like extra 2 to 3 weeks to get flowers. So it's like a win-win, and it's just something fun to do right now before we start seeds. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you learned something today and if it was useful. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.